Shut your witch ass up. I hate Halloween. It's a horrible holiday.
I'm really excited to chat with you guys again for the Halloween special too. So I know when we spoke last for season 5, you mentioned that there was going to be a new special. How did you land though on it being a sequel rather than finding?
Sorry, have these guys seen it? Have you guys seen it yet?
I have, yes.
You have? Okay, great. Okay.
We landed on the sequel because the first one was really, really hard to come up with the premise, because it was like a big bag of Halloween candy. Like, what are we going to do? And it was almost like, because Solar Opposites is so ridiculous, there were so many options. And then when we were doing Halloween Part 2, it was just inherently funny to both me and Josh to be like, a direct sequel to a holiday special is something we don't think we've ever seen before. Like, it's sort of ridiculous, but because we have the powers of Hulu, that it's going to live right next to the original episode, that there's just something very funny for us about, you know, continuing where we left off in the sequel timeline. It's a very Star Trek kind of mentality of it, but
also, Mike, it wasn't even a direct sequel. There was a Valentine's Day sequel in between the two
special
Halloween sequels.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's you know, it felt weird, just weird enough for us to do it, that I really liked. And it worked out great. I'm really happy we did it.
I'm really happy you did it too, but I also love that it's not only a sequel, but it's also a war between Halloween and Thanksgiving, without necessarily spoiling how the war comes up. I just love that happens. And I'd love to hear how, again, you landed on that specific idea for where this story went.
Well, it was because when we were talking about as the holidays of this part of the year kind of like stack up, that naturally Thanksgiving is getting less and less important, and Christmas and Halloween on either side are getting pumped up. And part of it is like, there's precedence for this, right? Like, we bring up Plow Monday as being this kind of, you know, this holiday that used to be more widespread, and it kind of slowly just got eaten away by Thanksgiving. And now, because politics have gotten so toxic and horrible, and your like weird uncle has gotten even worse over the last 8 years, that like now nobody likes Thanksgiving. And it's like, you know, we like the food, but do we like the racism? Do we like the cultural appropriation? Do we like, you know, the colonizing? And then you add like the uncle on top of it, and it's like, it was very easy to characterize Thanksgiving as an underdog in the eyes of like the spirit of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and also Halloween and Christmas are so commercialized now, right? Mm-hmm. Like to the nth degree. And Thanksgiving like is kind of, you can't really commercialize Thanksgiving more than it's not built for commercialization. Like Halloween, people are already starting to do Halloween in August. People are already starting to do Christmas like now. Right? It's but like, nobody starts doing Thanksgiving until the Monday before Thanksgiving.
And then the second Thanksgiving's over, Black Friday starts, and nobody's even thinking about Halloween. And that's eating into that's eating into Thanksgiving from the other side too. So like, Thanksgiving is under attack. And we were happy to, that's not us. We didn't invent that. That's just the way it is. So I don't know, that it felt pretty right to us.
I like the way you use it though for this special, and you guys are right though too. With people are talking about Christmas now. I literally on the news this morning heard them talking about Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas," and I was like, "Don't you put that song on? You're 2 months away. Go away."
I know. I do love when we get to play Christmas music. I'm such a psycho, Josh. I don't know if you know about this about me, because like the second Thanksgiving is like coming, I start playing Christmas music in our house like at all times. Like, the family wants to kill me. I'm playing it in the car. I'm playing it in the house. I'm playing it while I work. I've got my favorite Christmas albums. Like, I'm a weirdo about Christmas music because I miss the snow. There's no fucking holidays.
Well, next year we'll do a sequel to our Christmas special that we did 4 years ago.
God, I would love
But right
that.
now we're talking about our Halloween. And then we love the idea, I think, of also like, hey, these specials sometimes, we love the idea of like incorporating more than one holiday, right?
Yes.
So this is like a Halloween / surprise Thanksgiving special.
Yeah, yeah, it's like a little Nightmare Before Christmassy, right? Except Halloween is like the underdog in it instead of the super creepy, you know, like oh, there's skeletons barfing up bugs and stuff, you know. But yeah, competing holidays. We're feeling it. We're feeling it here at Solar Opposites.
I like the way, again, I love the way you use it. I would love to see a sequel to Christmas, by the way. That would be such a fun one to see. So, and I remember when we talked for the Valentine's Day special as well, one thing you guys have always tried to do with these specials is sort of incorporate plot that's going to become important for the next season. You know, obviously Valentine's, it was them getting married. With Christmas that we just mentioned, it was kind of them going back to their normal forms. What can you tell me about the Halloween special that sort of sets up season 6?
It really doesn't set up fucking shit, is what I would say. But it does have a tone that fits into the post Valentine's Day, like Corvo's tone of who he is. He's been softening, like putting your foot in a tub of water for years now. Like he's been like, he was so pointy and angry at the beginning of the series, and like everything after the Valentine's Day special, he's funny and he's grouchy, but he's not quite so mean. And like I like how the Halloween episode ends, and you still feel that going into this season, and like he still doesn't like spooky stuff. You know what I mean? But unlike the Valentine's Day special where they get married and it really changes the name of the game, that was a big important thing, and we probably won't do that again for quite some while. Now we just want to have fun and live in that world where they're married and we're doing that kind of fun stuff. Like we're going to explore that for a while. That's
what I like to see. I mean, it was such a fun ride to see that in this past season, and I loved seeing it this season. So in looking at the fact they're trying to get into this fancy country club, I love that you have an alien-specific sort of wing of this place. And I'd love to hear how you landed on who or what aliens appear in there, because you have, you know, original creations, and then you have some popular people. Well, so how did you land?
You know, for us, there's some aliens that are the capital A aliens that you think of when you think of aliens, right? And you'll see actually in season 6, we kind of pull this card again, that like the Solar Opposites have gotten used to there being other culturally known aliens that they like either like or don't like. And remember, there was a season or two ago, they were like, we're not like Alf, we don't eat cats. You know what I mean? Like they're getting to know this stuff a little bit. And so tell me, in the cut you watched, who were the 2 aliens they encountered in the dining hall?
The xenomorph and the Star Trek
General Chang, the Star Trek villain from Star Trek 6. Okay. So for us, it was like the xenomorph is like an iconic alien. You can tell from their silhouette who that is. There are so many alien movies. They just had a new one that was great. And then we didn't want to pair that xenomorph with somebody that was like an equal kind of like, you know, 1-for-1. So for me, because I'm such a Trekkie, it was like, there's one classic alien who always gets paired with xenomorph. So instead, let's subvert that and be like, it's the xenomorph and General Chang from Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country, who's a Klingon before they really made like the TNG Klingon faces. And I just think it's really funny that you can say the alien from Alien, but then you have to say General Chang from Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. Like it's long enough to feel ridiculous to me. And I don't know, it's just funny to me.
It is a great bit. And so did you guys kick around any other ideas for other aliens might appear?
We kicked around a bunch of ideas, to be honest, in this litigious world we live in now, where lots of different studios own lots of different things. There were just some that we couldn't even do. We can't even mention them to you or we will get fucking sued.
Yeah, there's like 5 or 6.
Of course we kicked around some.
You know, there's the Mars Attacks aliens. There's, you know, I love E.T., but I don't want to see E.T. drinking a cocktail and being mean. You know what I mean? Like, he's too cute. There's the aliens that are so unrelatable, like people like that they've never been rebooted, like the Critters. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like the Critter Ball aliens. Like I grew up loving Critters, and now I'm like, where's the Critter, you know, cultural awareness anymore? Like the Gremlins are kind of still around. I would love, but they're not. Gremlins aren't really aliens, though. They're
Gremlins are not aliens.
ancient creatures from Asia. But like, unless they are aliens for some reason, then there's like the Thing. But like, I think when it came down to it, you wanted two villains that were easily identifiable, and then the irony being that they're like country club douchebags that are talking down to the Solars, And so I like who we picked. I thought they were fun, and I just like Star Trek stuff. So anytime I can sneak that shit in there, I get really happy.
So but I gotta ask too, did your experience or your time on Lower Decks kind of make that easy for you to be like, hey, can I borrow this character real quick?
Oh man, we didn't even ask. It made it easy because I was like, these guys will just think it's funny because like I love, they let me play with the IP with Lower Decks. I've snuck a couple little Star Trek kind of parody things in there, and I love Star Trek 6. I just took my son to a screening of it with the director over in Santa Monica, and I'm like, this movie holds up from when I saw it in theaters when I was a kid. So,
the bad guy, the ultimate bad guy in season 5 is an homage to a Star Trek character.
Yeah,
right?
He's the president of the Federation from Star Trek 6. He's like a visual nod to it. So yeah, you'll see there's little Star Trek nods all throughout Solar Opposites if you dig through it. This is just a more blatant one.
I love it. I mean, it really. I love how much you guys pull from the genre as a whole for sci-fi fun. It's really great. So I want to look ahead really quick because I know I'm coming up on time. Season 6 already confirmed. I'd love to hear how far along you guys are in the writing and maybe production of it.
Writing is done. It's hilarious. It's maybe our best season. I don't know. It has a little bit more serialization for the Solars that year, and Terry gets a new job that makes me laugh every time we're working on it partway through the season. And then the Wall story is awesome. We kind of bring the Wall back to threads that we built out first season. And you see the Duke come back at the end of season 5. And a lot of it has to do with the fallout of that happening, of Terry accidentally bringing him back. So like the Wall is fucking awesome, and there's a whole new genre that we're exploring in the Wall, and we're bringing all of our favorites back for that. And there's like a couple like really there's fewer Silver Cops in season 6, but like what you get is fucking great.
And we sort of bring it all back to the beginning of Silver Cops as well, which is
you'll feel like a lot of bills being paid in season 6 in a really cool way. Like a lot of loops get closed in a really satisfying way, and then entirely new ideas start. So I'm really
the end of the Wall, season 6 opens us up to
craziness,
seasons of craziness afterwards. Yeah,
feature films of craziness.
Thank you for saying it opens it up, because I'm hearing loops closing and I'm like, no, don't end, and then it's like opens more.
You just don't want to have sweater threads forever, right? You want to like feel like something's fully done and then be like, there's a Terminator 2? You know what I mean? Like it's so we just wanted to like give people resolutions on stuff and stuff they've always wanted to see and stop toying with them, but open it up then to being like, ooh, what's this? So it's really fun. We had a blast this season.
Well, I can't wait to see what comes of all of that and chat with you guys again for it. I see I got to get on out of here, so I won't take up too much more of your time, but always a pleasure. I can't wait to get the word out about the special because I know people are going to love it. So thanks, guys. Always good seeing you.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
The